4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Breaking news this noon is coming out of Clawson, where a manhunt is underway right now for the man in connection to a deadly shooting. That does top our news this noon. Here's what we know. At least one person is dead, and the investigation into what happened is just getting underway. Police have blocked off streets around Butternut Avenue in Royal Oak to investigate the shooting. And if you take a look here, you can see there is a major police presence in that area. The SWAT team is there. We know that the shooting happened around 10:30 last night. Medics rushed to that victim to Corwell Beaumont Hospital there in Royal Oak, but that person did not survive. So far, police have 2 people in custody, but we are also told as of moments ago that they are still searching for one more person. And that man is 21-year-old Tyler Arion Clark Spencer. He is 6 feet 5 inches tall, so very tall, 200 pounds. It's unclear how he is allegedly connected to this case, but we do know that investigators want to talk to him. So if you know him, you know where he is, you should contact police. We'll also continue to keep you updated on this story throughout the day as we learn more over on clickondetroit.com. Meanwhile, the Hamtramck City Council is holding a special meeting later today at 4 o'clock amid these allegations against the police chief and the city manager. It all stems from an anonymous letter that was sent to state police accusing the chief of grooming members of the department. As Nick Monticelli joins us now from Hamtramck, sharing what could happen in that meeting later.
Good afternoon. All of this could come to a head at 4 o'clock later today as there is another meeting here at Hamtramck City Hall. The city manager believes that he could now be terminated. What's very clear is there are internal battles happening inside Hamtramck City Hall and the police department. Police Chief Jamil Al-Tahiri and another officer placed on administrative leave pending an investigation. Al-Tahiri joined the police department last year. He previously worked in New York City. The city manager would not provide a reason for the suspension, but an anonymous letter written by someone in the department and sent to the Michigan State Police claims the chief engaged in a pattern of behavior aimed at grooming members of the department in order to shield or obscure his actions. The letter later goes into great detail, accusing the chief of covering up domestic violence incidents he was involved in, and also bribery and conflict of interest issues. Hamtramck's mayor released a statement about the suspension, saying the police chief described it as retaliatory action by the city manager for disciplining one of the police officers who was a close friend of the city manager. The city manager says the suspension is not retaliatory. And now today there's going to be an emergency meeting, and regarding that meeting, the city manager sent a letter to the city council reading, "It has come to my attention that a special city council meeting has been called for tomorrow at 4 p.m. with the intent to terminate my employment after more than 2 decades of dedicated service to our city. Let me be unequivocally clear. Any such action would be retaliatory, unlawful, and a blatant abuse of power." The police union has also stepped in, saying that they are looking forward to full investigations on every side of this. Again, meeting 4 p.m. happening right here at Hamtramck City Hall. We're going to have a crew there and let you know exactly what happens. We're in Hamtramck. Nick Monticelli, Local 4.
All right, Nick, thank you. Memorial Day weekend is known as the unofficial start of summer, regardless of what the forecast is. And it is also the start of the 100 deadliest days. That is what it's known as on the roadways, particularly for young people. Between now and Labor Day weekend, teens especially are at risk for dangerous crashes. Kim DeGiulio has been talking with Michigan State Police to keep everyone safe behind the wheel.
And with numbers that high on the freeways for this holiday weekend, you want to make sure that you're planning accordingly. Leave early. Even if you're planning on leaving early, maybe leave an hour before that because things will certainly get congested. Secondly, you want to make sure that you're driving safely.
Click it or ticket. Seatbelts save lives. And even though it's been the law here in Michigan since 1985, police are still issuing tickets to drivers for driving without it.
We're seeing a lot less drivers wear their seatbelts, and we're seeing a lot more ejections in these minor traffic crashes that are leading to fatalities. So wear your seatbelt, it will save your life.
And a newer law. The hands-free driving law has been in effect in Michigan for almost 2 years now, which means holding your phone while driving, even if it's being used for GPS, is illegal.
Absolutely. So when you first get in the car, it's kind of like the first thing you do is buckle that seatbelt. The second thing you do is you program your GPS and all that stuff. Put it in that hands-free rack that you can purchase, or if your car already has a hands-free application, you plug it into your car, you set it to where you're going to go, and then you just leave it there and don't touch it afterwards.
And driving with the flow of traffic is not an excuse for speeding.
So be that good driver, right? I always hear, well, I have to speed now because everybody else is. No, you don't. That's just not true.
In fact, if you witness it, you should report it.
If you do see somebody that's driving so reckless, don't be afraid to call 911, report it. But we also ask that as you're out there, know where you are. We get a lot of reports that come across 911 for disabled vehicles or drunk drivers, stuff like that. But then we ask the person where they are and they don't know.
And for the holiday weekend, a lot of construction projects will go on pause, except for the big ones. Of course, I-696 will still remain closed. So if you're traveling through those areas where the orange barrels are still out, make sure you're still abiding by the lower speed limits. I'm Kim DeGiulio, Local 4.
All right, Kim, thank you. Apple faces an ultimatum from President Trump after the company announces plans to make iPhones in India. President Trump proposed a 50% import tax on European Union goods and a 25% tariff on Apple products unless Apple starts to make those iPhones in the United States. Last week, President Trump said that he was unhappy with Apple's CEO Tim Cook's announcement that his company plans to make the phones in plants in India. Apple has not yet commented on Trump's latest demand. And we are learning more information about the man charged with killing a young couple outside of a Capitol Jewish museum in Washington, D.C. 31-year-old Elias Rodriguez is charged with first-degree murder and murder of foreign officials. And this is video of Rodriguez. Investigators have interrogated him and searched his Chicago apartment, but are digging deeper into a motive. Investigators have said that Rodriguez chanted "Free Palestine" during his arrest. He could face life in prison if convicted of their murders. And you can find our full coverage and updates on the investigation and more on the story over on clickondetroit.com, where we're keeping it updated minute to minute. Next week, a judge is going to be hearing more evidence to decide if a man should stand trial for the explosion in Clinton Township that killed a 19-year-old. The goo shop owner, Noor Kastow, is charged with involuntary manslaughter. Investigators say thousands of combustible canisters were improperly stored at a business. On Thursday, an employee testified about weird incidents that led up to the explosion. He says he was inside of the building when it started.
Went under my desk and then put my hands behind my head, and my desk is a thick executive office desk, so I felt pretty safe. And then my first reaction was that was an earthquake or a train hit us because we're right next to the railroad.
And that preliminary hearing in this case is expected to pick back up after the holiday on Wednesday morning. Ashley is standing by with a look at our holiday weekend forecast, and at least it looks like the rain has moved out.
Yeah, most of that has. Now, it's still clipping portions of up north. We're talking Sault Ste. Marie, closer to Alpena, but even that is fizzling out. Couple little light patches of drizzle across the area. So as we go ahead and put that tracker on for you, you can see that that is what is the right now. But we will also talk temperatures out there. So that's not wanting to work for me. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see how this is going to impact the rest of your Friday. And so we will have temperatures that will be mainly into the 50s this afternoon as we take a closer look at satellite and radar for you. That's where we have this upper level disturbance, and that's going to continue to pump in some of that cloud cover. So even though we have just a smidge of a little drizzle off into Livingston County, visible satellite showing that we have the thicker cloud cover in northern lower Michigan with maybe just a few breaks in those clouds across metro Detroit. But clouds winning out from our Windsor Skycam, 51 degrees in the city, same in Ann Arbor, 46 in Pontiac, and 54 in Monroe. And those winds are noticeable, 15 to upward of 20 miles per hour sustained. That's going to make it even feel a little cooler throughout the day. So we're drier, remaining cool. Quick look, though, at the weekend forecast as we'll be rising into the 60s with a gradual warm up through Memorial Day. We'll have more on that forecast coming up.